Today on the newscast, we talk a ton of trailers. The Black Panther financial numbers, PUBG Mobile, and Captain Marvel. Stay tuned for all that and more on today's show. Hello and welcome everybody to the Barrel Roll Newscast. It's March 24th. I forgot that part because that's not the part I do. 2018. Here we talk about movie news, game news, nerd news, all sorts of news. So
News.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
I'm Brian.
Bam! All right.
Or Brony, as we're calling him now.
Considering, yes. So Tony is not here. He is in Portland right now for supposedly all those pictures he's sending us. Clearly faked.
It was just a bag.
He is he's judging some Pokemon. That's a big judge. That's really cool. So when he started doing that, I'm like, that's still a game. Like I still remember when he started judging. I'm like, people still like. Because I knew he Pokemon carded, but I thought it was like Magic, where you went to Warp 2 or something, played with the 10 people that still play, like that kind of thing. Like the first time I ever went to a Magic thing, I'm like, wow, there's actually like lots of people here. Yeah. I was not expecting that because I got my butt handed to me. But
I played a versus tournament.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So he was like, oh yeah, I'm playing Pokemon, and I'm like, okay, because that's what I thought in my head.
Yeah.
Well, it's a weekly thing. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, I'm going to be like, this kind of judge. And I'm going, that sounds like, that sounds important. Because all of a sudden he was head judge for something. And I'm like,
yeah.
Is that a thing? And he's like, well, yeah, I've been working towards that. And I'm like, that's awesome. I just, in my head, I didn't know that.
He has opened our eyes.
He really has.
And he has like an official shirt and everything.
Oh, he's got everything.
And yeah, he's got.
He's actually So, no, they're my donuts. They also come with there's mini eggs on one of them.
Oh, there is two.
A mini egg.
There should be two mini eggs.
Oh, there's buried in.
See, I counted.
You made sure. You gotta go back and give it to him.
Either way,
we need more mini eggs.
Either way, that's where Tony is this week. So, with that though, let's start. So, trailer talk.
Yeah.
There's some trailers that came down around this week. So let's start. Deadpool 2 is the big one.
That's just awesome.
It's gonna be like it's one
awesome.
Of those. Oh, hello, Mr. Amazing. I'm afraid of that picture. So, yeah, Deadpool 2 trailer dropped. We get to see some X-Force, which is exciting.
She also has a few characters. I know there were still two that weren't really shown.
Yeah.
We got to see what their powers are.
Yeah.
But I guess you can't reveal everything.
No, which is good. Which
is good, yeah.
And I feel like this is really giving us the story obviously revolves around Cable trying to get this kid.
Yeah, and that...
Which is a story from the comics. That's where people are getting to this point now is there's a comic book storyline where Apocalypse comes back as a child.
Okay.
And the whole point is I believe Deadpool's trying to kill the kid and Cable comes back to stop Deadpool.
But now it's...
But they reverse those two roles because it's a Deadpool movie, so they want to
make him a hero.
Make him the more hero-esque type person. But everybody's like, that would be awesome if they like rebounded from that horrible Apocalypse movie.
Yeah.
And put him in like as this kind of thing. Everybody's like, that would be pretty solid if that's the story.
Yeah. Deadpool reboots X-Men
franchise essentially. Except we still have the Dark Phoenix movie coming out.
Yeah, which is I don't feel good about that.
We gotta see trailers.
Yeah, I saw the Apocalypse movie.
It's all a lie. Deadpool 3.
That'd be the best thing ever. Deadpool just shows up and he's like, no!
He cuts it off right there.
This is the movie we're doing. So
Dark
Ryan
Phoenix.
Dark
Deadpool.
Phoenix, Deadpool. There you go.
DP.
So we get
Same
Dopinder
person.
back.
Yes.
Obviously,
Try-
carton Deadpool around. And I love that. Like that's the scene that opens the trailer. Is him, listening to the radio and just kind of chilling. And I get the like the Indiana Jones feel of like start the plane because I can start the car.
Yeah.
Like I get that. As soon as I saw that scene, I'm like, I knew where they stole that one from. So.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But overall, like, I'm sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yep.
I will keep my hat.
Thanks for letting us know.
I will hover. So yeah, that part's cool. Overall, a good trailer, but I don't think it gives too much,
No.
which is good.
No.
So.
And I'll watch this trailer as many times, unlike the Infinity War trailer, which I refuse.
Staying clear.
I'm refusing to watch that second one.
Man, that part with Hawkeye is awesome.
Oh yeah. Man, he's gonna be big in that movie.
And that part with Captain Marvel is huge.
We'll talk about that later.
I kind of know that because I rewatch stuff after, but I need the reminder. Thank you. Next up, there was unless Deadpool. Anybody? Other thoughts, comments, concerns? Good trailer.
Oh
Good
yeah.
trailer. Good trailer.
Red Band
I love
trailer.
I love the
Red-
whole
yeah,
thing
Red Band.
at the end too. We don't need to do a third one.
Yeah.
This second one's solid.
Well, and honestly, at this point, we don't know.
Well, it's testy. They say it's testing higher than the original.
Oh, and for
It
sure,
is,
but the
yeah.
problem is now is Disney's bought Fox and subsequently Deadpool, so we might not get a third one depending on which way Disney wants to take
Mhm.
Oh,
things.
I guess. Yeah.
And again, in my opinion, and we've talked about this before with all of this, I think you launch off Deadpool
Oh yeah.
to start your
You can make jokes about.
but to
different
start your
universes
X-Men
and
franchise,
companies.
you scrap Dark Phoenix and all of those
Yeah.
people. You
'Cause
get
that
rid
was-
of that timeline with
Well, and
McAvoy.
then New Mutants is.
That's still up in the
Yeah.
air at this
Yeah.
point
Because Dark
been
Phoenix
delayed
is still
in this-
Fox, right?
Yes, this
Yeah,
is their
it
last.
will
They're
still
not-
This is
their
following
last
from.
as their
Well, this is following
Well,
from
they say they don't know if it's.
Apocalypse.
Is it last?
Well, if New Mutants comes out, then that's their last mutant thing.
Mhm.
But like that's the thing is
Little Gambit.
that's been shelved
Yeah, I think it's been
indefinitely. Like that's the thing is so this is their last big X-Men hurrah would be Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
So if Deadpool crushes it and does well again as an R-rated superhero
Yeah.
film and still manages to make some decent money.
Yeah.
It won't make Black Panther money, but it'll still make decent money.
Mhm.
Disney really has to take a long hard look at that and go, these guys are doing it right. And even you said it's like you can tell the budget went up. The budget didn't go up a ton, so they offered them more money, but with more money came more studio involvement,
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds told them to take a hike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little.
So the budget is up, but it's not super up, and that's apparently why now, like, word is now kind of coming, but the director of the first one
Mhm.
was canned, essentially, or quit.
Yeah.
And apparently quit because the budget didn't increase and he wanted to go bigger and crazier and all of this stuff. And everybody was like, no, because then the studio gets involved.
Yeah.
And if the studio gets involved, everything's
A
going
lot
to
of
junk.
creative.
Yeah, all the creativity
differences.
goes.
Yeah.
Kind of what goes out the window.
So he left, and now we have the guy who directed John Wick 2, which I think, like, the action
I think
scenes.
it's-
Oh, yeah,
just,
yeah,
like,
just-
come
yeah.
on. And Atomic Blonde. So even if you didn't like Atomic Blonde as a
I still
film,
haven't seen it.
the action scenes from that flick
Are good.
We're
are
incredible.
John Wick 2.
Okay.
Like, you get that kind of sense. So, like, we know the action scenes in this are going to be
Yeah. Oh yeah.
amazing. So,
Especially that where he's fighting in like a sauna or
yeah.
spa. Yeah. Even right there,
Get
you
the
can see
sword
it.
play piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could totally see it.
I'm digging the more, like, the actual more use of the swords.
The swords.
Oh yeah. Of
So,
course.
well,
Because he forgot his bag.
probably.
Again.
Dopinder's just, like,
Oh.
just blowing stuff
Oh,
up
yeah,
underneath the
he
bridge.
might be part of the team.
See, now the
Of-
real trick would be, like, Dopinder's under a bridge blowing stuff up and, like, Spider-Man crawls around the thing like, what are you doing?
Trying to stop him.
That's the just
And
like
Deadpool
in
comes
Spider-Man
in.
Homecoming, it's like, Spider-Man screws up and all of a sudden Dopinder's like, ah! That's your end credit scene right there. Even though that deal's still not done.
Eh.
So either way, Deadpool 2. Next up, I showed you guys because I found this one today. The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because that's definitely what we needed as a new cartoon.
Well, they do better with the cartoons than they do with the movies.
True. So here's my thing. The last cartoon on Nickelodeon, I thought, like, I watched the first episode and I was... Because they went for that sort of 3D look.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, everything was flat enough that it still looked slightly animated.
Yeah.
Like, it was a weird fusion, and it took me a few episodes, and I finally got into it. And I was like, all right. Because everything else was well done.
Mm-hmm.
Characters were well done.
Yeah.
Story.
The turtles themselves.
Yeah, I heard it was a decent
Storyline was
yeah.
well. It was Krang and Shredder and
the typical.
the typical thing. The only thing they really changed from the old cartoon was April O'Neil was now a teenager, and it was her dad who got kidnapped.
Oh, okay.
And they're trying to get him back and keep her safe. So that was kind of the shtick of the show, which worked.
Yeah.
Like, it gave her actually more of a reason to hang out with the turtles
because
than
like
her being a
teenage.
reporter.
Yeah.
So she was actually just hanging out with people her own age, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of being an adult.
An adult news reporter who should be doing her job but is instead hanging out with a bunch of turtles in the sewer.
That are teenagers.
That are actually teenagers, so...
Sketchy.
Sketchy.
Yeah. So, and I liked that show, even the turtles, because they all basically looked the same, and that's what we're used to, other than, like, Donatello had, like, a tooth gap. Like, everybody had their little thing that made them them, plus, obviously, the color.
Mikey being
the color of
shorter.
their...
Yeah. And not even that they were shorter, taller, this or that, or anything else. It was legitimately, like, Mikey had dimples and, like, freckles.
Yeah.
Like, it was the little touches that you were like, okay, that's Mikey.
That's Mikey.
Yeah.
That's Donnie.
Yeah. Like, you could tell. The voice actors they had were stellar.
Yeah.
Like, they just... Everything was really well done. And then we get this trailer. If you haven't seen it, the art style is somewhat Powerpuff Girl-esque.
It
like,
looks more orientated
that's a good way to
towards...
put it.
Like, that's
younger.
the direction the animation's gone. And the storyline... So here's the part that's not in the trailer. Is the storyline is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are obviously, it's the rise, so it's their beginning stories. And they are fighting in a mystical dimension underneath the sewers of New York, using their super latent ninja powers, which manifest in different ways, shape, and form. So in the trailer, you say, like, Raphael going in for that jump.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a bigger version of him that's, like, encircling him.
Yeah.
That's his, like, mystical powers.
Also, they have superpowers.
They have extra powers now. They're not just,
They're not just mutant turtles.
mutant turtles that can kick butt. They now need extra powers. Yeah. I don't mind the art style in certain parts of that trailer. There's parts of it where I'm like, all right.
They made Raph look huge.
And I'm kind of
supposed to be the
I'm kind of okay with that. Like, that's my piece. There's parts of it where I'm like, all right, I can get behind this.
Yeah.
And then parts of it where I'm like, and then the storyline throws me off completely.
The trailer made it look
done.
half decent, but then telling me it's an origin story. I know their origin.
Yeah.
You mean the turtles that get goop thrown on them? And...
Why do I need it again?
Yeah. Like, I feel like the other one just ended.
It did. They're
starting it all over again, which I feel like is...
They're going back even younger.
They're going back... Well, no, because the last one shows them as kids. And they have to eat...
They're teenagers.
Well, no, like, the last cartoon opens with the ooze spilling.
Yeah.
And Splinter... That was my other thing about the last one, is Splinter's not like a rat that watched, that belonged to a kung fu master.
Yeah.
He legitimately found a book
and learned kung fu.
to learn kung fu for dummies, essentially, and learned kung fu. But you see the kids you see the Ninja Turtles as kids, and they're eating, like, bugs and all this stuff from the sewers, like algae from the sewers, because they're turtles.
Yeah.
So it all makes sense. Like, they're eating all these things that turtles would eat. And then all of a sudden they become teenagers. They end up finding pizza at the end of the first episode. And they're like, what is this? And this is the first episode kind of shows them as kids. Mm-hmm. Splinter's all like, you have to stay hiding. Like, you clearly aren't normal.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then the first episode is them finally going up, kind of without Splinter's permission. Saving the day, and them going like, we need to be up there. Like, stuff's going crazy up there. We need to do something about it. They discover pizza, which means they have to go up there even more. So the first episode of the original, or not the original, but the Nickelodeon reboot, essentially, was really well done. Mm-hmm. It gave you the origin. plus, and gave you like okay, now we're out of the sewers, essentially, we're out of the shadows, if you want to go in that direction. Like they're at that point, and then it was Krang from space controlling like cyborgs, so they could like beat the living snot out of these bad guys because
and use their weapons
because they weren't actually killing anybody, but Raph could legitimately throw a sai through a guy's chest.
And it would be okay.
And it's okay because it's a robot.
And
it's just like, yeah.
So they're just redoing it.
So
again,
and then giving them extra powers
story.
And obviously
because apparently sewers is mystical.
Yes, there are mystical.
Or that could
sewers.
be the fumes just getting to your head.
The show comes to an end after one season, and it's just like the turtles are all sitting there like,
good old New York.
I'm a fighting things, guys.
Alternate universe. They're not very good ninjas.
No, they're not. Just a bunch of like stoner teenage turtles. I'm not sure about that. It's got a 26 episode order though, so there's 26 episodes.
So they are invested in it. They are invested in it.
Well, because Nickelodeon makes.
Is it Nickelodeon again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon makes a lot of bank off these turtles.
They have the rights to the turtles.
Well, it seems like it's super easy.
Yes.
Drawings and everything, so it's super cheap.
Yeah.
Of course, they make money off it.
Everyone likes turtles. Everyone likes
and voice actors are cheaper than.
Well, especially these ones because there's.
Don't recognize anybody.
Yeah. No, I looked at all the names and I'm like, oh.
Who are these guys?
Because the last one started and it was one of the original turtles.
Yeah, Leo, wasn't it?
No, the original Raphael was now Donatello.
Oh.
Which worked out.
Wasn't
he had the
the
guy who does
Seth Green.
No, the guy who does Pinky's voice was ended up being Donatello because he's a prolific voice actor. And I can't remember his name. Yeah. Jason Biggs was Leonardo, who got replaced by Seth Green when Jason Biggs had to exit the show.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like they had people,
good voice actors.
Yeah.
Or well-known voice actors.
And even the rest of the cast was like people, and I'm like, all right. But now this one, I'm looking at the names and like they're saying what shows they've been in before, and I'm like, okay.
It's just
yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And the best thing I loved about the first Nickelodeon reboot, excuse me,
bless you,
was the action figures.
Yeah.
Because they pretty much found the old molds to the original action figures.
Yeah.
And just made them this much better. Because I went to the store and I'm like, these are like the Ninja Turtles of my youth. And legitimately, if you look at them, because the old Ninja Turtles, you could pop their shell. And the inside of the action figure is where you put all their weapons.
Yeah.
If you look at these action figures, the first run of them, that seam is still there. But you can't open the damn shell. Because I looked at it and I'm like, so you're sitting there like not prying too hard,
trying not to break it.
Yeah, but you're sitting there going,
is it supposed to come off?
It looks like it should come off. Why isn't it coming off? That was the best part of that whole reboot because I'm like, all the toys.
Yeah, which is where Nickelodeon makes a lot of money.
And that's where their money comes from is all the merchandising. So that's my thing. At least the last Turtles looked.
I still haven't watched it. It's on Netflix now, but I haven't gotten around to watching it.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good.
Because right now there's just too much.
There's a lot of content to be watching.
Oh, yeah.
Last but not least, the Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching the teasers even before.
Yep.
It seemed interesting. Now
that
now they give us a full trailer.
Well, so we have...
yeah.
We have the original Cobra Kai, whose name I can't remember right now.
Johnny?
Yep. And we have Danny coming back. So Ralph Macchio is back.
Yeah.
And... we were talking about it before. It legitimately is Barney Stinson's
dream
of how it all went down. Is Ralph Macchio's Danny becomes kind of a dick, and this other guy's starting the Cobra Kai.
He wants us to get his life together.
Yeah, said he's starting the Cobra Kai dojo and training people again, and it's gonna be the reverse. It looks like the reverse story.
It looks like
where he's going to train the kid who's like down and out. Yeah, because he's down and out.
He beats up teenager.
Yeah,
which I think is a better way to go with the Karate Kid.
Sure.
Than the Jackie Chan.
Nope.
Smithy
kid.
Jaden.
You mean Batman?
Yeah.
What?
No.
What?
No.
Have you not seen that trailer?
Or
not that music video?
He's a white
He's dressed
suit.
in a white Batman suit.
Oh, gosh,
and all
no,
he does is like, Batman, 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 Batman. And then he says some words in between. Batman, 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 Batman. And I'm like,
yeah, no.
I wish you wouldn't have been born into a very rich family.
Yeah.
But yes, this scene,
yeah.
I like the reversal here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I like
and
that.
And there's actually language, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat.
So it's a YouTube Red show.
Yes.
So that
Which would
gets,
be why the language.
right. So that gets interesting for us here in Canada to see
I
how
want to know how I'm going to watch it.
how we're gonna get this show.
I thought it was a movie originally, though. I didn't realize it was actually going to be a TV show.
I'm
Yeah, I
glad
thought
it's
it-
a
I thought it was
series.
a movie,
I'm
yeah.
glad it's a series.
Sorry.
So
Well, it could be. Yeah, you could add more to it.
Yes.
More details into it.
it's not just down and out. And it might have started as a movie because I thought it was starting as a movie too. But I think maybe they started writing it going,
We need more time with
let's
this.
turn this into a,
We could do it.
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
8-episode arc or however long it's going to be. So
10.
however long they
Yeah.
need. But yeah, I think that's awesome.
Looks good.
Cobra Kai.
Looks good.
Isn't the guy who's like butt you kicked? And it's like,
No.
kicked him in the face.
Yeah, I kicked him in the face.
But that's what I mean. Like Danny's such a
But
dink now.
you look
but-
at the old movies, though. That's
yes,
still him.
Yeah.
I know, I get it.
Yeah.
I've watched that that thing where he's actually the villain, and it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like he's sitting on another girl, his girlfriend,
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
and the guy's taking offense to it. I would too.
I would. Yeah.
Danny is not a great guy.
And this is really showing.
You're
it.
only cheering for him because he's Mr. Miyagi's student.
Exactly. You're cheering for Mr.
You're
Miyagi.
really cheering
Well,
for Mr. Miyagi.
and because the whole Cobra Kai was
And Cobra Kai
worse.
themselves were
worse than Danny
Yeah.
was. As he was bullied, yes, but
Yeah.
so
So yeah, this will be an
There are better ways to deal with
interesting
it.
show. Cool.
yeah, and that's it for trailers.
Yeah.
Trailer talk.
Trailer talk. I should make
should
a thing
segment.
for the TV. Yeah, I'll make something. Black Panther news.
Yeah, kind of news, I guess.
Well, and this will lead into other news, and that's essentially it.
Yeah.
Black Panther is looking to be the top-grossing superhero film ever made at this point.
Of all time.
All time.
So when I was looking this up the
So
other day,
I am not surprised.
It's going to be replaced, though, very soon. I think.
Yeah.
Pre-ticket sales,
Yes.
pre-ticket sales are already showing that yes, it will not hold that throne for long. Now, to be fair,
Well, it's held
He's-
the box office for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Finally got taken over by Tomb Raider.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
So, but either way, yeah, it will be dethroned. But to be fair, he's going to be in the
He's
movie
gonna be
that's
in that
dethroning
movie,
it.
exactly.
he's just
Um,
raking in the dollars right now.
So really, it's all Black Panther,
It's all
really.
Black Panther.
Totally.
So I was laughing because I found a thing online the other day, and it was Justice League's final box office, because it's finally not in theaters anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
Roughly $658 million brought in.
Yeah, which it doesn't
Which-
sound like a bad chunk of change.
Which does not sound like a bad chunk of change until you look at, and this is like even one of my coworkers is like, well, that's a pretty good number. What did the Avengers make? $1.5 billion at the box office. And he goes,
More than double.
oh.
No.
Yep.
And everybody's like, and Black Panther at this point
Is
has doubled it in a month.
Yep.
Like, it's taken a little over a month for Black Panther to double that number. And you're just going, how does Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman in a movie not make mad bank?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the discussion online.
It's one of the. Was it the worst one out of all the DCs?
Yes, because here's the thing, and this is how the DC...
in terms of how much money was spent.
right. Well, not
Well,
spent, but
made.
just made.
Oh.
It made the least amount.
Oh,
of all
really?
of them.
Of all?
Yes.
Which is surprising considering BVS and.
Well, so here's how
Man of
this
Steel.
all worked out. Because this is, again, the internet is deep into this conversation now going like, well, it's this person's fault, and this person's fault, and this
Yep.
person's fault. And one person goes, this is what happened. Well, first, Green Lantern was supposed to launch the DCEU.
Or was it?
Yeah.
So they went, no, it wasn't. We're going to take this Zack Snyder movie, which apparently, when they first started making Man of Steel, was not supposed to launch or be connected to any other movie.
Yeah.
But they made it.
But so essentially, what ended up happening is they're like, "Well, Zach, your movie's now gonna, do
Start it.
this," and he goes, "All right,
I guess.
I guess so." But Zack Snyder's entire intentions with Man of Steel when it started was make a dark Superman flick.
Yeah.
So you were actually supposed to have that opinion of, like, why did Superman break that guy's neck? Why did Superman destroy... It was supposed to be that movie.
Yeah.
That they then had to tie into a overall universe. So people saw Man of Steel. All right. Kind of going, oh. And again, a lot of people were like, well, if you look at it as an art film, and it's trying to tell you, a story about destruction and,
They killed a lot of people.
Well, and hubris and this and that and everything, that's the story. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to get a hopeful Superman in that movie. Like, that was the whole point.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, all right. Still a bad Superman movie in that case. Mm-hmm. In my case, then, because Superman should Superman. Be... Right, that's my point. Superman. And then Zack Snyder, once he found out he was doing all of these movies, went, you're going to get a hopeful Superman. You have to wait, though. Like, it's going to come.
Yeah.
Like, he's building towards that. And you go, but he doesn't build... He was a farm boy.
He's a farm boy.
That's the whole point. Is he's supposed to be like, well, no, everybody's good in their own way and shape and form. Yeah. That's supposed to be Superman. Country kid. Who believes everybody in the world is great. Either way, so we got that movie. Then they had to rewrite some wrongs with Batman vs. Superman, which made a ton of money. Because opening weekend with Batman and Superman in the title... made mad money. If you watch, if you look at the charts, whip!
And then it crashed. I do remember the news story of it being the biggest drop. Percentage-wise, it just tanked.
Because it did so...
But people saw that movie and went, one of the best parts of that movie was Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman, when it came out, did quite well and stayed quite good because everybody's like, hey, this is a decent flick.
It has a story.
Yeah. Suicide Squad did so well because the trailers kicked butt.
Mm-hmm. I think it was partially the music, too. You get those old...
But that's what I mean. People saw the trailer and went, okie dokie, and just kind of limped in to see the movie, which ended up making more money again.
And winning an Oscar.
And winning an Oscar for Best Design or Makeup or whatever the hell it was. The Oscar-winning Suicide Squad. So by the time Justice League came around, everybody's like, I saw that Batman vs. Superman movie. I am not going to be tricked again.
I still haven't seen the Justice League.
We'll fix that. But
you want to borrow it?
Sure.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. Like, people got to that point where it's like, no. And then the nerd people were like, well, they fired Snyder partway through post-production.
Yeah.
Brought in Joss Whedon and gave him 6 months to fix whatever...
Do what he could.
To do what he could to follow the studio's orders. To try and make it more Avenger-like was essentially the shtick.
What they want,
So that's the fight online now. Is it the studio's fault? So people are like, well, it's the studio's fault for giving Snyder so many bloody movies.
Yep.
And ruining the lead-in.
I would agree with that one.
It's Snyder's fault for making horrible films.
I would agree with that
and
one.
And a lot of people are like, well, but he's an artist and they gave him free reign to make his movies. And you're going, yeah, but you still got to stick to...
Exactly. If you have that right to do that for...
Certain source material.
Exactly, yeah. You got to stay with the source.
Right.
Have Superman kill people.
And I think that's where Joss Whedon tried to come in and change some things, but then like people are sitting there online going, well, Batman quipped too much, and this person quipped too much. Like, it's cool for the Flash to quip. It's cool for Superman to fly in and say something kind of witty.
Yeah.
Batman can.
He can, but you gotta...
more like...
You gotta... pick those spots perfectly. Because Batman is still...
I didn't find that an issue.
I didn't really find it an issue. And my big thing was like, but Batman should be the dark...
Yeah, he was supposed to have more blunt quips. Like usually when he's like remember in the cartoon there's that one where everyone's holding the lasso of truth.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay, you gotta state your real identity. And everyone's like, Wonder Woman's like, I'm Diana.
Yeah,
I'm
Diana
Clark.
Prince.
And Batman's like, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman, yeah. Like
it was, he didn't mean it to be, like, he was just blunt, honest, but it was, like, funny.
Yeah. Like, that's the Batman.
I didn't find an issue in that.
I didn't. Some people did. Like, they found him too lighthearted.
I'm totally on board with the blaming Schneider and WB.
I am more to be blaming the WB for stepping in, and yes, Snyder to a point, because he should have stuck closer to the source material.
He should have read
But to be fair, they let him start the whole thing off with his version of Batman. Or not Batman, Superman. So, that's not where he should have launched from.
No.
That's not what should have happened.
But I don't think it would have been any better if Green Lantern started.
Oh, no.
No. It wouldn't have been any better.
No.
If you go,
it should have started...
Superman is a good starting point.
He is, just not that Superman.
I think Batman would have been the best.
But everybody's seen a Batman movie.
So
Everyone's gone to see
So here's the problem, though, is they legitimately gave him a movie, told him to go nuts with Superman, and he did. And then they were like, this is going to be the start of the DCEU. Make it fit. As opposed to sitting down with a plan.
And coming up with,
coming
a
up
good
with
plan.
something. Because that's the thing. You look at Iron Man, which started everything off, for Marvel. Yeah. There wasn't a giant impacting something like half the city got destroyed and you have to come back from it. It was legitimately confined to Stark Industries and a little bit of the highway.
Yeah.
And people were like, whoa, like this guy and a robot, like there was 2 robots essentially fighting. And then it ends with him being like, well, I'm Iron Man. And you're like, yeah, you are. Like that's an Iron Man move. So Tony Stark was Tony Stark. And then once they found out that it's like, all right, this movie fits, let's tease it a little and see how people feel. Yeah. And you get that post-credit scene of like, I'm starting the Avengers Initiative. You literally could have gone anywhere from there. Yeah. We didn't have to get an Avengers movie.
No.
But then little by little, it's like, all right, let's.
That's what MCU did well, was they built up to a bigger threat.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, half world is destroyed. Now there's a big threat.
Well, so apparently with the reshoots and everything that Whedon did, because of the studio asked him to, Steppenwolf wasn't actually supposed to be the big bad guy in the Justice League movie.
Was it actually supposed to be Darkseid?
Yes.
I'm glad they kept him out, though.
Yeah, that would have been...
Right, so, but the point is that Steppenwolf should have been more important then.
But you're working with a limited timeline.
I get that. But that's the problem with...
You can't just switch the villain and say...
Snyder's movie coming in and all of a sudden, like... So apparently, like, the Joss Whedon reshoots are way more than we actually think they are.
Oh, yeah.
They kept just enough to leave Zack Snyder as the director and not have to give...
He did all the action stuff. Whedon did all the...
But not even that. So to make sure Whedon didn't get the directing credit, there's a certain percentage of the film that has to be...
Okay.
So like the Russo brothers, because they both direct X amount of a movie, both get that directing credit. Mm-hmm. To make sure Joss didn't, he got to film this much, and reshoots of specific scenes do not count.
Okay.
So if he reshoots a scene, it doesn't actually count towards
directing percentage.
That directing percentage.
Yeah.
But he still reshot a bunch of scenes to make them lighter. So there's parts where Henry Cavill, they had to like make the mustache disappear. There were scenes that Snyder had filmed with a darker tone to them. So there's a part at the Kent farm with him and Lois talking, and apparently that was supposed to be a much broodier talking Superman. And instead we get a lighter Clark. And you go,
which is what Clark is supposed to be.
Really, he is. So we got the Clark I believe we should have had now for 3 movies. We finally get him.
And now we don't know if the universe is going to continue.
Well, because again, Black Panther, a solo movie from a hero that no one knew.
You knew of.
Oh, no. Regular people? Again.
Well, I guess we kind of.
We don't count.
We're not regular. There we go.
The general audience who you're trying to impress, I don't know how many people I had to talk to about, who is Black Panther.
Yeah, like, my wife had no idea what...
Well, and people who haven't seen Civil War don't know, like, so they did a good introduction to Black Panther if you watch all the Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, it's like, well, who's this Black Panther guy and why should I care? Mm-hmm. Well, word of mouth has clearly worked.
Now you have a reason to care.
Well, yeah, and now that's just going to make them even more bang because everybody's like, oh, it's so good that, this many people have seen it.
Who else can we get in here to make a movie?
Well, and like people are talking, the soundtrack actually...
Soundtrack was good.
Soundtrack kicked butt because they actually got in, a guy who puts together, albums, to put together an actual album full of music that people enjoy. Because one of my coworkers, that was part of her thing, was I'm like, Kendrick Lamar's in charge of the music, and she goes,
I don't.
Because that's a big ticket to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're sitting there going like, all right. Because when that news broke, I'm like, well, who's Kendrick Lamar?
I knew who he was. I didn't care for his stuff.
So I have no idea who he is. I'm still seeing Black Panther because it's a Black Panther movie. So I'm seeing it because it's a Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people are seeing it because he's African American. It's that storyline.
Yeah.
Like, that's the big catch for them. Kendrick Lamar was a big draw. Like,
big women power in this movie.
You know, that's what I mean. Like, it was just like Marvel's like, we got check.
This movie's gonna make money.
They never expected this. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. 1 point something.
A lot of different demographics were like, let's watch.
Well, this isn't even the Blu-ray sales yet.
I know.
Like, that's probably why it said it's going to be coming.
Oh, it'll be the biggest box office
for another few months.
For another few months, and then
or a month, I guess.
1 month.
Yep.
And 3 days.
Yes.
And then we get Infinity War.
Oh, it's gonna be so awesome.
So yeah, like either way, so that's Black Panther, top grossing superhero movie, and it blows my mind that another company can screw up so bad.
Yeah.
The contradiction.
Right.
The contrast, I guess.
That's my biggest. I look at it, and people online are like, people are going to be comparing these forever. And I'm like, but they should be comparing it. A Justice League movie should have blown Black Panther out of the water.
Yes.
10 years ago, when all of this started with Iron Man.
DC should have been right there.
Yeah. Well, but if you would have told me...
And you had the Nolan.
Well, DC's been trying to make...
Yeah.
But then they could never do anything.
I don't know if
because they had so many studio problems.
They didn't even try for how many years? Because you had the Nolan Batmans, which weren't tied to anything.
Well, they were like trying to do a Justice League way before that too. And
yeah, there was
too many directors were like, no, studio is way too controlling on what I could do with this, and a lot of directors just walked away.
It's funny how you hear about that with Disney though, or Marvel.
You did, and then once Kevin Feige took over things,
you were allowed to have your own
sort of.
You had to. Here's a major plot point.
You had to understand that you were connected to every other movie in some way, shape, or form. So there was an overarching plan.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is they have Kevin who has been there since the beginning, going lining all those ducks up.
Yeah.
So and you lose a creative director like Edgar Wright because he wants to make his movie, and you're going, nope, we need Falcon in that Ant-Man movie, and he's going, I'm not changing the pace of my story to put in Falcon, and they're going. And like someone said, Ant-Man was in production for how long?
Yeah, it was in production.
Like, they tried working with Edgar Wright for a very, very long time until finally it's like, buddy, we need Ant-Man. He's kind of pivotal to one of our next films.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be in Civil War.
He's going to be in Civil War.
Well, even Black Panther, though, he didn't really tie to much.
No.
Until the end.
Right. Well, but but in Civil War, he was there.
He was there, but there was no references, really big references to.
Well, we had.
There were no cameos until the end.
Well, there was what's his name, The Hobbit.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't consider him a major.
Not a major cameo, but.
When I say cameo, I mean like Cap showing up.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So it's still connected, but you can still do your own thing.
But it didn't. Feel that it was.
No.
Which is okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing is, it's surprising to me in my brain. Because, again, if you would have told me that a Justice League movie, even when they were both announced, if you had told me that Justice League was going to make less money than Black Panther, I've been like, are you insane? Is Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman in a movie with what I'm assuming would be Green Lantern and, Martian Manhunter. I'm putting together the actual Justice League. Sorry. But and Flash.
Flash, yeah.
Flash was part of the original too.
Yeah.
Hawkman, Hawkgirl.
Oh yeah, Hawkgirl.
But that's my thing is I just had to laugh because it's, and then in my head I had to remember Aquaman in this Justice League movie is not yet Aquaman as we know him.
Is...
But as we know him, he's not King of Atlantis.
Yeah.
Like it's. The superheroes who are them are Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Everybody else, it's like, here's their origin movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
The Black Panther thing, where you're introducing them.
Right, which I get. It worked for Black Panther because he was the only one they were really introducing. Yeah. This one was like, and it still worked for
Cyborg,
the most part.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, and Spidey got his intro.
Really,
yeah. I thought they did the Flash really well. I thought Aquaman, once you realize it's not Aquaman, Like,
well, we can talk.
Yeah, we can talk about that when we
post credit.
Yeah. But either way, so Black Panther, top grossing superhero movie, on track to be
biggest of all.
In my brain, I'm like, does it deserve? In my brain, like it's not my. It's up there, but it's not my favorite superhero movie.
No, but it was very different.
That's the piece.
And it's like true to it.
It hits so many different demographics. Is the piece that's making it so much money. So. Thanks for messing with the... Yeah, I know. Good girl. Get your tail away from the thing. All right, next up, PUBG Mobile. Tony had been bragging so hard that he kept winning games.
It's kind of funny.
The best part was Tony kept winning games.
This looks really bad.
Tony kept bragging that he was winning games, and I was like, well, there's not that many people playing yet for one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on.
Sorry to, Which is good. Like, if you get into a game at the ground floor, you usually can actually get pretty good at it faster than most people. So it's like, good for you, Tony. Apparently, it is riddled with bots who just suck at the game.
It is not real people.
They're just like...
Well, to explain, didn't he just say that he showed a picture to us?
Yeah.
He was aiming, no one's there, and then all of a sudden, winner.
Yeah.
So would explain that.
So that's my thing.
The bot fell off the cliff.
He's like, I'm winning. I'm getting so many chicken dinners, and then, but even he said, because the article I linked in our group chat was like, PUBG Mobile players mad because it's riddled with bots, and Tony's like, I am mad because he felt like he was actually doing well.
They shouldn't have released it.
And well, so I mean, they're all in beta right now. Even Fortnite Mobile's in they're all in beta. They're all testing right now.
Are they? Because I thought PUBG got a review that it was.
Everybody's reviewing their stuff because PUBG, they're actually the games, which is impressive.
Yeah,
but they're still testing some pieces of them out. So they're all beta. But I've had apps on my phone that have been in beta now for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Run.
No, that's natural.
Oh, is it?
But I have
just a beta.
I have beta releases on my phone. And it's just like it's in beta, and then an update, and I'm like, are we at full release yet? No,
it's a beta.
And I'm like, this is like a shopping app. It should no longer be in beta. Like, it either works or it does not.
They're just too afraid to say like,
it's an official app,
and it has all these bugs like. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
still
beta. That's why it's not working right now. So either way, riddled with bugs that are bots. Sorry, they're obviously trying to fix that because people are impressed with the mobile game, like how well it plays and how impressive it is that the game is on your phone. Same with Fortnite. So Fortnite has their mobile game. Fortnite's blows my mind though that it's going to be cross-platform, and I mean we talked about that last week.
I know that's cross-platform, crazy.
So you'll be playing. I'm sorry to say, but mobile people, you're screwed.
Wow.
Because you'll be playing against people with the mouse and keyboard combo, which I'm sorry to say is going to be someone trying to.
Unless they come up with a device where you attach your phone and.
Well, and if there's gyro controls, that's a big step because that's people on the Switch love
Splatoon
being able to do this in Splatoon to get that accurate aim.
Yeah.
There is still. This is the. The mouse and keyboard is still
the gold standard.
The consoles will have a hard time keeping up with
the consoles are still going to
unless you're on a PlayStation, because you won't be playing people on Xbox. So
yes, but I would still be playing against PCs.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
But here's the funniest part is people with the PlayStation, like everybody now is pretty much going PlayStation is going to cave at some point here because if we keep doing all these cross-platform games, connecting to the PC, connecting to this, connecting to that. Eventually, PlayStation people are going to be like, well, I'm not buying this game on your console if I can't play with,
I can't remember with the Rocket League.
Rocket League, how that all...
Oh, yeah.
Again,
PlayStation was the only one that couldn't or wasn't willing to cross over. Everybody else was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, because everybody's everybody's looking at it. Switch is looking at it going, all right, whatever gets our game online, that's cool. Because our online sucks. Don't tell anybody. So for them, that was good. Microsoft, same thing. Like the fact is, Nintendo sales have almost caught up with Xbox sales at this point.
Yeah.
Which is not good for Microsoft. No. And again, it's this
They
point
will come out with a new system.
Well, but here's the thing. That Sea of Thieves game that's coming out, which is supposed to be the big Xbox release, I can get on my computer.
Yeah. But you can't get it on Steam. It's just
through Windows Store, which I'm fine with.
Yeah. And you need to have Windows 10, apparently.
He's good.
So this is my problem: is I have no need to buy an Xbox. Every game I want is on the computer. So that's where Xbox keeps failing. Is they're like, oh, that game you wanted on the Xbox? Do you have a computer that can play it? Boy, howdy. So yeah, that part's there, but so everybody's saying,
I don't know why they're saying Sony's going to cave because they're already crossing over.
It's because they'll cave to the point where everybody can play with them. Because here's the thing: if I'm playing with someone playing on an Xbox, you can't play with us.
But you don't play with anybody with an Xbox.
I know I don't, but a lot of people are at that point where
so I'm not concerned.
You're fine with us because we'll all be on
my group.
We'll all be on computers.
Yeah.
And you can play with us through your PlayStation.
Tony might PlayStation.
I doubt it. Not when he has a mouse and keyboard.
I guess.
So, and that's the other part is we also can't find any games with anybody playing on an Xbox with you in our group. So it might take us longer to find games. And that's where they think Sony's finally going to cave, is people are going to be like, it's taking me 10 minutes to find a game, and it's taking Joe over here 2 seconds. What's going on?
What's going on? This is...
I guess.
So that's the piece where they're like, Sony will eventually see the light.
Probably.
Yeah.
When they have their way.
Yeah. And that's the other piece, is what's Sony going to get out of it. So, on other PUBG news, they have announced that they're going to start an event mode in the actual computer game. Because here's the thing, and we've been talking about this, is Fortnite has been doing this already. Mm-hmm. Because they're testing, they're just like, oh, let's see what happens if we do 50 versus 50.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what happens if we do, 5 teams of 20. Like, oh, let's see what happens if everybody has to fight over getting a golden egg in the middle.
Yeah.
One of them was the shield didn't ever stop closing.
Oh, it just kept going and going and going.
So your entire thing...
keep people going.
Well, so that was the piece, that was the event, was the shield just kept closing, and you're like,
it was a really fast game.
And you're running, going like, oh, God.
Oh, God.
Like, you can't hide in a bush and be like,
yeah,
I will wait. You're
definitely
legitimately, everybody's running towards the middle going, I shoot you! No, I shoot you! So PUBG's finally getting in on that piece. Because here's the problem with PUBG. It's the same game every time.
Every time, yeah.
And not necessarily slow.
From any Twitch video I have watched, slow.
But same game. You run it the same way.
Yeah.
You
could have the exact same strategy and
play
that strategy over.
Land together in a zone we tend to know. Tony runs off on his own.
We dick around.
But that's the thing. There's nothing getting us to change the way we play. Whereas Fortnite, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you're now in a match of 20 versus or 5 teams of 20. Things change. The shield never stops closing. Things change. You have to switch it up. So PUBG's finally going like, all right, we're gonna do event modes now. So there's a zombie mode that is in PUBG for special players, so the Twitch branded partners and stuff.
Okay.
So they can start those matches, and you can hopefully get yourself into one.
Yeah. Have you tried one yet?
No.
We can talk about it.
But that's going to be one of the event modes now. It's just you can play everyone can play zombie mode.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. But so yeah, PUBG's finally kind of catching up on that train because they're losing a butt ton of players
to Fortnite.
A lot have. Because here's the thing, Fortnite runs smoother.
Yeah.
It looks way better. In my opinion, it looks better.
In my opinion, it is more fun. The building aspect and all that stuff. It is less realistic. So that's why I like having...
playing a video.
But that's why I like having both different games. It's like the difference between a Modern Warfare kind of first-person shooter to Battlefield. Battlefield, I'm slow, you're methodical, you're actually doing a lot of the checks around walls, that kind of stuff. Modern Warfare is legitimately built to pretty much run across the map and shoot people. It's a Halo first-person shooter. So Halo versus Battlefield. Those are so Battlefield's PUBG with the more realistic, you have to be making sure you're doing specific things and this and that and everything else. Fortnite is literally I'm gonna build a tower and go as high as I can.
I'm gonna break down this tree.
Yeah.
And snipe people from up top.
Or that's part of the thing is you're running away and you just build a wall behind you. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, I'm going to die now.
I'm going to die. Prone!
I can't see where I'm getting shot from. What am I going to do? So now you can be
they're two very different games, except Fortnite's keeping things interesting.
Yeah.
Which is helping it gain more people. So that's part of it. It's also less computer intensive.
Yeah.
Because whoever, like the guys who programmed PUBG, pretty much just started typing and hoping things would work.
Yeah.
They're like me building a website. I'm like, what if I change this code? And hoping, like, so you know, you look at the code to our website from ages ago, and it was patchwork.
Look at it now.
So it's still, there's a lot of patchwork. You know, but like, that's the thing is like, I'd find a code online, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Remember when we started trying to make HTML websites
That's what I mean.
20 years ago?
Yeah, and then it was like, oh no.
Don't look for those websites.
So that's pretty much
the name.
That's pretty much what like PUBG is built on. Is like it's not optimized. Nothing's written very well, which is I assume these events are going to be harder for them to do. Whereas Unreal and Epic know how to kind of build their game.
I do definitely hear about Fortnite more than I do hear about PUBG.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just that's the crowd I hang out with, I guess. At school.
Yep.
And
I think I only know of one more
games.
guy who's sticking with PUBG and not Fortnite, and that's Kevin.
Yeah.
He's a diehard PUBG.
To be fair,
sounds like he's a hardcore.
To be
player,
fair, Kevin is very good at PUBG.
He is very good at PUBG.
And again, it is a very different game. PUBG, if I'm hiding behind a wall, I can hide behind a wall and not die. Fortnite, I hide behind a wall. That wall's going to disappear in about 5 seconds.
It can get destroyed.
You better run.
Yeah, you got to actually be on the move.
Or keep building the wall.
Or keep building more walls. Joke's on you. There's a wall behind the wall, 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 behind the wall. The guy just keeps shooting walls. Eventually runs out of ammo. Yeah.
Just throw a grenade.
So.
Yeah.
And it does. So either way, PUBG is trying to do some new stuff. Though obviously they're trying to
play catch up,
fix their. Which is funny because they came out first.
Yeah.
Hello! You're trying to get to Brian through me. All right.
Or she wants your lap.
No. Hi. Yeah, I see who you're looking at. Last bit of news for us today.
Yes.
It has been announced. Hawkeye. Definitely going to be in Infinity War. Do not fret. He's not on any of the posters. Ant-Man apparently, yes, is going to have some part, so I'm assuming that's a post-credit something.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, though, is not getting a scene. Her scene that she was supposedly getting has been cut from the film, which I'm kind of okay with.
It's already jam-packed with people.
That's my biggest thing. Like, introducing Black Panther and Spider-Man in Civil War, she's legitimately, like, it's a desperate attempt to get over to him.
It's funny to watch.
I have made it!
Oh, hi. Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Say bye, Pancake.
Not the way I want to go.
Bye, Pancake.
Wrong way. Bye,
Pancake. Either way, so Captain Marvel's been cut, and I don't want her to just show up and be like, "Hi guys," and everybody's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "Captain Marvel," and then just starts fighting.
Nick Fury saying, "Hey,
yes,
I know this person."
I get that, but it's not the same as like Black Panther was integral to the story of Civil War. Yeah. Spider-Man is a very easy hero to introduce because everybody's seen him before. Again, it's like Batman showing up, and you're like, "Yeah, okay, Batman," and then Batman shoots someone, and you're like,
"What?"
That was a little Batman. that was a little off character. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely. I'm glad they cut her because someone showed one of the standees. Like they're putting the cardboard stand-ups in like the theaters right now, and it is the A, and around it is like all of them minus Hawkeye and Ant-Man, and like but promotionally it's like. You know, Captain
People
America's,
are picking out who is where.
Oh yeah, Captain America's in this corner. Iron Man's up here. Don Cheadle's in the middle of it, like his War Machine with some extra. Like, he's got some new colors going on with his costume.
Like Patriot again?
Nope, it's just more. He looks more cyborgy actually.
Well, he should because he can't walk.
Can you settle?
He can't walk anymore.
So, but like just color wise, it's more of a like the blacks with some extra red tint sort of thing go. Like from this standee poster thing, like you've got Peter Parker in the Iron Spider suit, like
doing a pose.
He's Spider-Manning, He's Spider-Man. But that's the thing is you get like this huge standee in not Wonder Woman, Black Widow's off to the one side, like. But that's the thing, like this thing is huge, and filled to the brim with people, and you're just like. I'm glad Captain Marvel isn't going to be.
It's okay.
You know, I'm like I'm okay
her story
with
would
this.
Get lost in this.
It really would. So instead, let's just give her
stick
own
her
movie.
an origin, and then
give her her own.
Maybe
movie.
save her scene for next movie.
Yeah.
Or if she's actually integral to part
I think she's another muscle.
That's
she's
fine.
Supposed to be strong.
But have her movie and her post-credit scene is her essentially coming back to Earth, going like,
"What the hell?
I leave and this happens." Like,
what did you guys do?
I've only been gone for 30 years.
What?
20, 30? I don't know when she actually. Yeah.
Well, because it's based in the 90s.
She's coming back in almost 20.
Almost
20.
Almost 30.
Almost 30 years.
She was a teenager when she left.
So
she'll be in her young 30s.
So we'll see, and that's the
late
thing,
30s.
Late 30s. So we'll see what happens with all that. But yeah, I'm okay with her not being in the. I will let you out once we're done. Yes. So either way, that's the Captain Marvel part of that. Okay. But Hawkeye's in.
Yay!
Even though we haven't seen him at all.
Everyone was so worried.
Third trailer.
Like I said, Jeremy Renner, we know he's filmed stuff. So whether he's...
That was the other trailer. Tag. You should watch that trailer. It's fine.
I haven't seen that trailer.
It explains where Hawkeye has been.
But either way, like, him not being in any of the promotional stuff, I'm like, he's either going to show up at some point in the movie,
yeah,
and it's an important piece to it, or he's a bigger part of Infinity War Part 2, whatever they're going to end up calling the next Avengers. Yeah. But Avengers 4, he's going to be a bigger piece. Gauntlet is the code, or it's the name
Gauntlet.
that's, it's going to be Gauntlet. But that's the thing, is like, Hawkeye's going to be more integral to that, as opposed to this movie. One. So it's like, save some heroes for the next poster.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's where we'll see Ant-Man and Wasp and Hawkeye and Captain Marvel, like, on the poster doing stuff with,
should
like...
just put Ant-Man on top of the A.
You know what? I would totally be down for, like, all of the Avengers, you know, weapons. So, like, Iron Man's face and the shield and, like, whatever weapon they're going to give to Thor and that kind of, like...
Hawkeye's shield?
Hawkeye shield. But that's what I mean. Like, I want all of... Like, that'd be cool if there was just a pile of, like, all of their stuff.
Yeah.
In, like, a wrecked thing. And, like, all the weird random heroes that aren't, you know, in desperate need of help.
Yeah.
They're, like, the main people on the poster this time. You're like, yeah! Avengers! C-Team! Because this isn't even B-Team!
The people without powers.
Yeah. Well, Captain Marvel.
I guess.
She-Hulk just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Betty. Where do you think she's been?
Being She-Hulk?
Yeah.
But she's not actually She-Hulk.
Yeah.
It's his cousin.
She can be. Then they can have Hulk babies.
That's a really bad kids show.
It's
like the Muppet Babies is coming back, and they're like, Hulk babe, Hulk smash, Hulk smash.
Earthquakes everywhere.
That's all the show is just a bunch of like different Hulks, all like Hulk smash, Hulk smash.
They can show real hangry with the baby. Baby's like, I'm hungry.
See, we're writers.
Totally.
Great
idea for a new kids show. It's gonna be stellar.
The Hulk babies.
Just you wait. It's gonna blow Muppet Babies out of the water.
Totally.
Either way, that's the news we have for today. Stick around because in 5 minutes we'll come back with a post-credit show.
Yeah.
Where we talk about all the games we've been playing, movies we've been watching, and other assorted nerd things we've been doing. And I'll let a dog out.
Who let the dogs out? Nick.
Either way, stay tuned. While we're on break, check us out at barrelrollnews.com for all of our social media and other assorted interesting stuff. With that, thanks for watching.
Yes.
Come back soon.
Bye.
Gesundheit.